Hi, this is Rich Coles. So I'm doing a focus on dialing up your project management with Smartsheet, and here I'm going to start looking at your risk matrix and how you can show up information on your dashboard simply about what are the key risks that you're facing on a project and, more importantly, on the portfolio. So in a previous video I showed how you can have the headlines of your risks on a project showing up, and we're just going to have a look at this. In this version, you can see that it's listing the names of the key risks, which can be useful information for the project manager. But for key stakeholders, that can be too much information. They might just want to see the actual numbers of the risks as a headline, and then they can see the items that are listed below, for example. So if you want to get to the numbers, really simple to do. Ultimately, it's the same view. All I've done when I come to here is I've changed it from the join collect formula, and I've simply gone COUNTIF, and then it's saying, well, count if it's high impact and low probability, and the status is open. Really simple. So I've just gone in and made it a different formula for each one because it's got to count that specific cell. And there you go. And you've got this simple view of having either the full names, where you're using the join collect formula, or you're using a count. Now, if you want to be doing this at a portfolio level, having the names and the headlines of all the risks that are coming through will be too much information. It will be much better to have the numbers. So how am I doing this at a portfolio level? How are you getting them in? That's the challenge here. Now, the way you need to do this is to use DataMesh, because what's happening here is I've got various RAID logs and it's pulling the information into one single place. Now, you can't do a formula to look and count the number of risks of specific criteria off a report. So you need this to be in a sheet. So you need to create a sheet for it. So in here, I've got a sheet created, and the way I've had to do this is use a report and DataMesh to get that information in. How have I done that? Well, if I go to DataMesh, I created a configuration where I used a lookup value, and I had to make sure that in each of my RAID logs that I had a unique reference. So in this case, I called it a RAID project reference. And what I did then is I mapped the columns. As you can see, they're mapping across. And so the unique reference goes backwards and forwards between the two sheets. And what it means here is that from the report, I can have the view, all the items gets pulled into here. And ultimately from here, I then create this sheet, which looks at it and pulls that information across. And the DataMesh will run on an hourly basis, so it'll update. You do need to be aware that it will also pull through items that are closed here. So therefore, what I've also created is an offload factor, so it can take the closed items out of the actual receiving sheet. Again, so there's a bit more complexity in here. If you're familiar with DataMesh, great. You should know what I'm talking about. If you're not, please do get in touch and I can give you more information on how this works. The end result, ultimately, is that by having that sheet, I can then go to the sheet and then I can do the same formula, which is the COUNTIF formula, and say, go to the sheet of all the portfolio items and count the ones that are risks, that are high impact and low probability, and that are open at a portfolio level. And what do you end up with? Well, you end up with a very simple view at a portfolio view of the number of items we've got. Simple, I hope. If it's not simple, please do get in touch and we can guide you. And again, DataMesh, if you want to find out more about DataMesh, it is a fantastic tool. So lots of information that we can provide on many, many uses of DataMesh and how that can ultimately accelerate your solutions. Want to find out more? Please do get in touch. This is all about helping elevate your experience and your benefit you get out of Smartsheet to deliver your projects better by transforming execution, unlocking potential. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.